Welcome back. Facing homophobia, biphobia and transphobia has been a struggle for many in the LGBT plus community. So a new campaign by the Transgender Equality Network of Ireland and UL's Hate and Hostility Research Group is aiming to call it out.
Joining us now are MEP Maria Walsh and Dublin LGBTQ plus Pride Manager Eddie Mcguinness, both of whom have had personal experience of homophobia, to tell us more about the campaign. Good morning to you both.
Good morning, folks.
And happy Pride to you. Busy
happy
day.
Pride.
Thanks, Pete. I'm literally running after this straight to literally get the parade off.
It's a quiet day for you.
Very quiet day.
I think we should just loiter here until it all gets
yeah.
We got prime real estate.
Yes, definitely.
That's our plan here as well.
We ain't moving.
Literally straight down the road, we're running.
Maria, congratulations on your election victory. Very exciting time for you, and I would imagine that it's very busy as well.
It is. Finding the happy balance of coming post-campaign right into the European Parliament, and it's exciting. I think that might be the first time I was ever introduced on the telly as MEP, so that's very exciting.
Well, we're honoured to have you both here today. Talk to us about this campaign. It's a really interesting campaign. It's gained traction online. A lot of people talking about it at the moment.
Yeah, it's a fabulous campaign. You know, I teamed up with Tenny and a number of people, not just ourselves here, but so many throughout the country, and calling it out is such an easy way to A, add visibility, B, making sure that homophobia, transphobia and biphobia reduces and at some point stops, because that's what we need to happen. But every day, you know, we celebrate Pride today, but at every day there is issues for people a part of the community of LGBTQI, and it's integral that not just gay people but also our allies, community members, organisations like Tenny and University of Limerick come together and really start being proactive about calling it out.
It's key, isn't it, that general society do exactly what that campaign is saying to do, call it out, because it's not right in 2019 to still be doing it.
Even if you take the example what Panty said in our noble speech, standing at a traffic light checking to see, am I too gay? Am I too trans? And am I who I truly am? I might sit here in brightness of colour because this is one of the days that who we are. We have to realise that we've 12 other prides around the country, but I've been at every one of those. That way back, that we were sticks were thrown at us, stones were thrown at us, eggs were thrown at us. That goes back. 93, we were only decriminalised, and most people have to realise right across the world that 93. Ireland decriminalised homosexuality. The same year as Russia. Look what is happening in Russia. They're beating them up, they're killing them, no matter who you are, from trans to gay to lesbian, bi, no matter who you are. I think the world is imploding some aspects. We're lucky here in Ireland, we embrace it, but we still have a lot more to do. There is behind it all secret homophobia, transphobia within people.
If you think of the marriage referendum going back a few years now and that result, many people would be forgiven for thinking, well, listen, we got equality, everything's good, and equal rights opportunities for everybody, off we go, nothing else to be done. But on a very local level, many people still feeling very isolated, the victims of abuse as well. And interesting to note that it's not just the person who's been victimised, but it's the whole community, because everybody in that community can see themselves as that victim.
Yeah, and you know, I was a couple of weeks ago listening to Gloria, the LGBTQI choir had performed in Louisburgh, County Mayo, so a very rural area, and it was the first time they had performed in such an isolated spot, but a number of members in the community, in the choir, were from Louisburgh, and it was their first time really seeing a gay flag, seeing their community members coming out, and it was such an education point for someone within the community to say, oh, like, we have so many great allies, but we have so far to do. I mean, we were just talking about Russia in terms of we're about an hour and 15 minutes from Belfast. You know, on the island of Ireland, we do not have equality within couples, same-sex couples who want to adopt or go for IVF or grow a family, pensions. Like, we have so much to do, not just, and that is calling it out. That's under, again, the same guidance of that.
But the progress that's been made, Eddie, since '93. I mean, look, physically at the size of the parade, but also you were telling us off air, the people who are participating in the parade, and it's a big one this year. There are people in the parade this year who have never been there before.
Absolutely amazing this year with the parade is everyone from, and of course, grassroots, the GAA, Myself and David Goff have been working behind the scene, and it goes back to actually, believe it or not, marriage referendum. Is David wanted to walk out on the pitch with a rainbow wristband. They asked him not to because he felt it was too political. But we took that back and actually said, okay, let us talk. And we started the process. And the GAA are now putting in a transgender equality element to the programme there. Also, Mark and Ferma are walking this year, which I'm a culture, you're a culture, we're all cultures at heart here in the big smoke.
Yeah.
But we have to realise this is about people walking down the street to be who they are. Going back, we have to remember, we might be colourful, but at the same time, that one moment that somebody on the sidelines looking in can step off the pat and go, I'm ready to be who I am, no matter who you are and where you are in your journey. And I think that is crucial what pride stands for.
But as I said, it's up to the rest of society to say, right, just call it out. You cannot, that behaviour, you know, and you see it online. It's prevalent really online, isn't it, Maria?
It is.
Voiceless warriors who
it's
call
funny,
people.
it's, you know, post-campaign and upon reflection, you're thinking, a lot of things were found online that with my name attached to it and the party that I ran with and I'm very proud to be a part of and the fact that I'm sitting in an institution that, you know, calling out LGBTQI rights and who I am as a person and celebrating that. But keyboard warriors are alive and well, and the comments, you know, I was a part of raising an LGBTQI inclusion flag in Ballygarran, County Galway, a beautiful area. It was the first time they had such a representation, and it was around visibility and having a conversation about we bringing our whole selves to school or work.
In terms of a European level, Maria, I mean, are you pushing to start to have conversations with the social media giants to say, look, it needs to be policed better, but also when it's done, the punishments need to be severe?
Well, I know from my campaign, a small group of people had set out a very homophobic website, and it was push ads through Google and Facebook, and that is being dealt with. At the time in the bubble, we were a couple of days away from voting, so I couldn't really reflect on it and say, hang on a second, how can people write that? They don't even know me, or from what I stand for in a public arena for the last 5 years since the Rose
It doesn't matter, you were an easy target.
But it was astronomical. And like when you think keyboard warriors and you think, you know, we're not too far away from people typing it than to saying it, and it does happen.
Absolutely.
But it also goes back to right down to people have to realise on the streets, in the bars, at football pitches, even as you look at the language that person across the water who runs a major country is in the locker room jargon. That is where we have to change the lange of young people.
I'm glad you mentioned that.
And I don't want to even mention it, but it's very simple. That is the language we have to educate. And between parents, aunts, uncles, you name it, you have to change the young people's, the next generation growing up, and that's what's crucial.
Because many people would think they're making a silly comment, a funny comment to their pals, and yet, you know, comments and remarks can sting. And the value and the power of language and how we use it, it's so important to teach the next generation. It's just not acceptable.
Oh, completely and absolutely. But it's not just, as we build between the LGBTQI community, we have to realise we're all inclusive, and that doesn't make a difference what creed you are, what race you are. We're all together, and that is one thing about Pride. We march together under one flag and multiple flags, and we're all multiple people coming together, showing the love. We're an amazing country. Why not show that love and get it out there and be who you are? 12 other major prides around this country, and let's try and fly those flags.
And speaking of marching, you better get your skates.
I have to run.
They're all waiting for you down there.
And I have to change my outfit.
Of course you do.
Of course you do.
Listen, thanks for coming in, Maria. Eddie, great to see you. And happy Pride.
And happy Pride to you all.
Thanks, guys.